Long-distance relationships are no longer rare or unusual. In fact, in 2026, they have become a reality for many couples, whether because of work, study, migration, finances, or personal growth. Technology has made connection easier, but emotional distance can still grow if a relationship is not intentionally nurtured. Navigating a long-distance relationship in today's world requires more than love. It requires clarity, discipline, emotional intelligence, and shared purpose. One of the most important foundations of a successful long-distance relationship in 2026 is clear expectations. Many relationships fail not because partners stop loving each other, but because they never agreed on what the relationship truly means. Are you exclusive? How often will you communicate? What are your long-term plans? In an era of endless distractions and options, clarity protects the relationship from confusion and assumptions. Communication remains central, but in 2026, it's not just about talking more, it's about communicating better. Constant texting without emotional depth can still leave both partners feeling lonely. Quality conversations matter more than frequency. Setting intentional times for meaningful conversations helps both partners feel seen and heard, especially when time zones and busy schedules are involved. Another key tip is learning how to use technology wisely. Video calls, voice notes, shared calendars, virtual movie nights, and even relationship apps can strengthen intimacy. However, over-monitoring, excessive checking, or expecting instant replies can create pressure and resentment. Technology should be a bridge, not a leash. Trust must guide how digital tools are used. In 2026, personal growth is no longer optional. It is essential for long-distance couples. A relationship should not pause your life. Each partner must continue building their career, faith, emotional health, and personal goals. When both individuals are growing independently, the relationship becomes a place of inspiration rather than dependency. Distance becomes easier when you are not emotionally empty. Trust remains one of the hardest but most necessary elements of long-distance love. Trust is not built through surveillance, but through consistency and honesty. Small promises kept, transparency about struggles, and openness about fears strengthen trust over time. In a world where cheating stories are constantly online, choosing trust becomes an intentional act of maturity. Conflict in long-distance relationships is inevitable, but how conflict is handled makes all the difference. Avoid resolving serious issues through text messages filled with assumptions and emotional reactions. Voice or video conversations reduce misunderstandings and humanize emotions. Learning to fight respectfully, even from afar, is a skill every long-distance couple must develop. Another vital tip is having a clear reunion plan. Long-distance relationships struggle when there is no visible end in sight. Even if the timeline is long, knowing when and how you plan to close the distance provides hope and emotional security. Love survives distance better when it has direction. Finally, long-distance relationships in 2026 require intentional emotional reassurance. Words of affirmation, consistency, prayers, encouragement, and reminders of commitment go a long way. Distance amplifies insecurity, but reassurance calms it. Never assume your partner already knows how you feel. Say it often. In conclusion, navigating a long-distance relationship in 2026 is not about surviving the distance, but learning how to grow through it. With clear communication, trust, intentional connection, and a shared vision for the future, distance becomes a temporary challenge, not a permanent barrier. Love that is nurtured intentionally can travel any distance and still arrive strong.